The year 1521 marked a significant turning point for the Philippine archipelago, a moment that would alter its course for centuries to come. Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, sailing under the Spanish flag, arrived on its shores, bringing with him the ambitions of the Spanish crown. This encounter initiated centuries of Spanish colonial rule, a period marked by profound changes and lasting impacts on the islands and their people.
Before the Spanish, the islands were a vibrant tapestry of diverse indigenous cultures, each with its own unique traditions and ways of life. We had our own systems of government, beliefs and ways of life, deeply rooted in our connection to the land and sea.
The Spanish brought with them their language, Catholicism, and a feudalistic social order, reshaping the social and cultural landscape of the archipelago. Conversion to Christianity became widespread, often replacing indigenous beliefs and practices as Spanish missionaries spread their faith across the islands. The Spanish established a centralized system of governance with Manila as the capital, transforming it into a hub of colonial administration and trade. This centralization of power led to the erosion of traditional leadership structures as Spanish officials and local elites took control.
The Spanish also introduced new agricultural practices and crops, changing the agricultural landscape of the Philippines. The cultivation of cash crops like tobacco and sugarcane was encouraged, leading to the establishment of large-scale plantations. This led to the development of large haciendas, vast estates controlled by a few wealthy families, which created a significant economic divide.
The legacy of this landholding system continues to influence the Philippines today, shaping its social and economic structures. The Spanish colonial period had a profound impact on the Philippines, leaving an indelible mark on its culture, society, and institutions. It led to the Hispanization of Filipino culture, the introduction of new institutions, and the exploitation of the archipelago's resources, which were extracted for the benefit of the colonial powers. This period sowed the seeds for a burgeoning sense of Filipino identity and the eventual struggle for independence as the people began to resist colonial rule and fight for their freedom. The 19th century witnessed the rise of Filipino nationalism, a powerful movement that sought to reclaim the nation's identity and autonomy. Centuries of Spanish rule, marked by economic exploitation and social inequality, fueled a growing desire for freedom among the Filipino people. The oppressive policies and harsh treatment by the Spanish colonizers created a deep-seated resentment and a longing for self-determination. Filipino intellectuals, exposed to liberal ideas from Europe, began to advocate for reform. These enlightened thinkers, often educated abroad, brought back with them the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity, which they sought to apply to their homeland. Secret societies emerged, plotting to overthrow the colonial regime. These clandestine groups, such as the Katipunan, played a crucial role in organizing the resistance and mobilizing the masses for the impending revolution.
Among these intellectuals was José Rizal, a national hero. Rizal's profound impact on the movement cannot be overstated. A gifted writer and doctor, my novels, like No Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, exposed the abuses of Spanish friars and officials. Through my works, I sought to awaken the Filipino consciousness and inspire a collective call for change. My writings sparked revolutionary fervor, inspiring Filipinos to fight for their rights. The power of the pen proved to be a formidable weapon against the injustices of colonial rule.
In 1896, the Philippine Revolution erupted. This was a pivotal moment in the nation's history, as Filipinos from all walks of life united in their struggle for independence. Led by Andres Bonifacio and later by Emilio Aguinaldo, Filipino revolutionaries fought valiantly against Spanish forces. Their bravery and determination became a symbol of the Filipino spirit.
The revolution declared Philippine independence in 1898. This declaration was a bold assertion of the nation's right to self-governance and a rejection of colonial domination. The revolution demonstrated our yearning for freedom and our courage in the face of oppression. It was a testament to the resilience and indomitable spirit of the Filipino people.
However, Spain's grip on the archipelago was waning. The colonial power was struggling to maintain control over its far-flung territories. The Spanish-American War, fought on multiple fronts, weakened Spain's ability to maintain its colonies. The conflict diverted Spanish resources and attention, leaving their hold on the Philippines increasingly tenuous. The Treaty of Paris in 1898 officially ended the Spanish-American War. This treaty had far-reaching implications for the Philippines and its quest for independence. In a controversial turn of events, Spain ceded the Philippines to the United States. This transfer of power marked the beginning of a new chapter in Philippine history, one that would bring its own set of challenges and struggles. This transfer of power marked the beginning of a new chapter in Philippine history. The Filipino people's fight for true independence was far from over, as they now faced a new colonial ruler in the form of the United States. The American colonial period ushered in significant changes in the Philippines, marking the beginning of a transformative era. The Americans introduced a democratic system of government, public education and infrastructure development, laying the foundation for modern Filipino society. English became a language of administration and education, shaping the country's linguistic landscape. This shift had profound implications for communication, governance and cultural exchange.
The Americans invested heavily in education, aiming to create an educated citizenry capable of participating in democratic governance and economic development. The establishment of a public school system led to increased literacy rates, empowering Filipinos with knowledge and skills that would benefit future generations. American teachers, known as Thomasites, arrived in the Philippines to educate Filipinos. Their efforts were instrumental in spreading Western educational practices and ideals.
American influence extended to public health, infrastructure and governance, leaving a lasting mark on Filipino society. Hospitals, roads and administrative systems were established, modernizing the archipelago. The period also witnessed the growth of the Filipino economy, with new opportunities emerging in various sectors. The Americans encouraged trade and investment, fostering economic ties that would shape the Philippines' commercial landscape. The Philippines became a major exporter of agricultural products, particularly sugar, to the United States. This trade relationship brought wealth, but also complexities. However, this economic relationship also led to dependence on the American market, creating vulnerabilities in the Filipino economy.
The transition from Spanish to American rule was not without its challenges. The shift in power dynamics brought about significant social and political upheaval. The Philippine-American War, a brutal conflict, erupted as Filipinos resisted American control. This war was marked by intense battles and significant casualties on both sides. Despite their valiant efforts, Filipino forces were eventually defeated. The war left deep scars and a legacy of resistance. The war highlighted the Filipinos' determination to fight for their independence even against a new colonizer. Their spirit of resistance would continue to inspire future generations in their quest for freedom.
The journey to Philippine independence and nationhood was shaped by several key figures, each contributing uniquely to the cause.
José Rizal, with my powerful writings, awakened the Filipino consciousness and ignited the flames of revolution. I advocated for social change through peaceful means, emphasizing education and the transformative power of the pen.
Emilio Aguinaldo, a skilled military strategist and leader, played a pivotal role in the Philippine Revolution. I led Filipino forces against both Spanish and American troops, fighting for our nation's freedom. My leadership embodied the Filipino spirit of resistance against colonial rule and oppression.
Ferdinand Marcos, a controversial figure in Philippine history, rose to prominence in the post-colonial era. He served as president for 2 decades, implementing ambitious infrastructure projects and promoting economic growth.
However, my rule was also marked by authoritarianism, corruption, and widespread human rights abuses.
These 3 figures, each in their own way, left an indelible mark on the Philippines. They represent the complexities of the country's history, reflecting its struggles, triumphs, and the ongoing quest for a just and equitable society.